the king, the god of this shit, Nick fucking Gage. You know how I start this off. Shout out to all my MDK gang members around the world. And I want to let everybody know, Blvd Bullies versus the World is a podcast every Tuesday, 7 p.m. live on YouTube with my motherfucking boy, Larry the Legend. And what the Blvd Bullies are doing, they're trying to ignite a revolution within the fans to unite and make the crowds electric again. So check out the Blvd Bullies versus the World, 7 p.m. live Tuesdays with Larry the fucking Legend. MDK all fucking day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Blvd Bullies versus the World. It is, in fact, a podcast. I'm your host, PK, and Larry the fucking Legend is running a little bit late this evening. However, no godson, we got him all night long. But for right now, I'm joined by the number one, numero uno, most hated person by a long margin in the deathmatch community. My friend and yours, former moderator of Deathmatch Elite 1, rest in peace, and current agitator of 2, Bad Take Bry, Ginsburg July.
Hello.
The
Hello,
merch
fellow
guy.
freaks. Oh, you're still going.
Yeah, dramatic pause. Hello, Brian.
Hello. Fuck everybody, by the way.
Oh, I mean, I definitely agree with you. Today's a very important day in American history, Brian. Today's a very important day for our culture, for our society. Today is the day that we are doing our first show after the Nick Gage interview, which dominated the headlines, shockingly.
I'm not shocked. People wanted to know. Nick Gage puts the butts in the seats.
I guess I've been so far removed from the discourse and from like being invested and involved that everything we do here on the show, I'm just like, oh yeah, cool, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm, because the more I care, the more insane I become.
Right.
And the more I care, the more of a mania I find myself in. And after all the crying and all the tears and all the message boards and shows and all the chairs being unfolded and folded and all the rings being tightened and untightened, I just love this little pocket of the world that we've created for ourselves. I look forward to it every week. I do the show, and then I flush it and move on with my life and come back and do the show.
Mm.
And I love so much catching up on what you do in the 6 days between Tuesday A and Tuesday B. I feel like that's part of it. That's part of the fun. So I guess I was just thinking like, oh, cool, we got Nick Gage. That's great. Whatever. It'll be like a little boop, a little bump, a little boost. But, dude, I mean, it's by far, I think, our most watched episode in the shortest amount of time. The headlines were dominated by all the wrestling publications that, could bite me. And it's so funny.
I mean, it's definitely the first time the podcast has been reported on in a professional way. Like it was on Fightful and fucking Chris Jericho's little fucking Jericho
News is
website.
Jericho.
Yeah, whatever it is. but it was reported by bigger fucking wrestling publications. So that's fucking dope.
We have a lot of comments for the giveaway. I mean, it's probably our biggest giveaway as well.
A lot of people probably don't even want it that commented.
Yeah, they don't even want your stank on it, Brian.
We still put you on the Wheel of Fortune because that's the kind of people that we are.
Equal opportunity hate breeders.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, without Larry here, because I was really banking on Lar joining.
He's coming.
Discussion
He's coming.
About last week, but I guess let's start with.
We always come.
Let's just try to go chronologically through the timeline. Nick Gage came on. He was in a park.
Mm-hmm.
His phone died.
Mm-hmm.
And although being in a park, and listen, I've been in parks. You've been in parks, Brian.
I've been in many parks.
I'm sure the viewers at home have been possibly in parks. The real question that's lingering in my mind still is how did he charge his phone? And also, where was the microphone that you bought him?
Well, I would say firstly, it might have been a secondary phone that he used to come back onto the show.
Secondary phone.
A secondary phone because he was not gone for very long and he was on the show for a decent amount of time when he came back. It wasn't a quick hello and goodbye. He would have had to have charged the phone for several minutes if he did charge a phone.
Right, and then even if he did it for several minutes, it would have been an issue moving forward. He stayed on for like 45, 50. And first,
right,
I'm
it
sorry.
wasn't a problem. He would have stayed on for 45 more if I didn't have to pee like a racehorse.
We're already getting into like sarcastic discussion. So let me take a step back and say thank you, Nick. Thank you, Nick, for being on the show.
My favorite interview.
And, we had a lot of comments, both positive and negative, which we're going to get into. We, had Brett Lauderdale, basically live tweeting responses to our behavior on the show, which, by the way, although not up to perhaps classic journalistic standards, did not in any way deviate from the past 200-plus episodes that we've done this show.
Facts.
And look, can I go back and watch myself? No, I can't. I no longer have the power or the bravery or the confidence to go back and watch myself. And I know I interrupted Nick. And I know that we interrupted him, and maybe, we didn't ask the most professional questions, and maybe a CVV or a fucking blah, blah, blah would have like a whole mapped out thing. But you know what? I don't have the time nor the motivation to do that. We had our notes. Some of the notes were what people commented, our friends in Discord, our friends on the new Blvd Bullies, Elite, which we're going to get into that too. And it's plus what's in the news. Brett said on Twitter that I did biased reporting and biased questions, and the tone of my voice and the rhythm in which I asked the questions was
bait. Bait was the word. Bait was the word.
I was
used.
baiting him. I don't know if bait is appropriate, but I was definitely. It wasn't like a. You're being held in contempt of court. The whole case is thrown out. It was more of a objection, leading the witness, sustained. Continue, Counselor Patrick.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I do admit that in the quest for the tea, I might have probably. Been like, aren't you mad at Brett? Why aren't you mad at Brett? Isn't it true that Brett did that? Maybe I was zeroing on Brett a little bit. So, in the interest of fairness, I will admit to that. And I will admit to being just a by the seat of the pants fucking interviewer. And, I was 2 resins and a joint deep. And guess what? That's what we're doing tonight, too.
That's what we do every fucking Tuesday.
And we're chilling. Highlights for me were that Nick seemed so positive and energized and well-spoken that I even at moments thought that it was somebody pretending to be him.
I knew it was him.
I was having trouble grabbing onto reality.
It was real.
And I'm not going to read it. I'm going to, in everything we do here, I don't have my notes set up. I don't have the screen. I took screenshots throughout the week, but then I haven't organized them. So I'm not going to search through my phone right here live on the air. But I think the best thing that was said was by old school OG member and friend and family member of the Bullies, Logan Stein, who said, the headline here is Nick Gage's rebirth and a new chapter, and that's what we're here for. That's what we should be supporting, is that, yeah, I might have done this and done that, and yeah, maybe this. Hold on. Hello, check, toast. Larry, I can only see your floating head because the rest of yours camouflaged.
What's up?
Nothing, yo.
Am I live?
We're talking about.
I know.
Yeah, we're
I'm
live.
Sorry.
We're live right now.
I'm sorry. I'm fucking sorry.
We are live and coming.
So, Larry, we were talking about how this is the most important day in American democracy. This is the most important day in the history of our country and our culture and all of our lives and freedoms. This is the day that the follow-up episode from Blvd Bullies versus the World featuring Nick Gage is airing. And that's why today is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have to decompress, we have to debrief, and we have to talk about what happened during the interview. We have to talk about what people thought about and said about it. And then we have to talk about what happened with Nick later in the week. And then Brian as well. We always have to talk about what Brian did to shove pine cones up the asses of all of the mouth breathers.
Pineapples.
Did I say pineapples?
You said pine cones.
Both.
I meant
Both
to say
will be-
pine cones. I chose
both-
pine cones.
But pineapples are bigger.
They are.
So, hey, Larry, how you doing? How was your week?
Busy. I had a busy week.
Did you get any wild texts from people who shall remain nameless regarding our actions last week?
I didn't get any texts, but I got quite a few DM slip and slides. People just slip and sliding right down their lawn into my DMs. And Pat, I gotta tell you, there were a few people who resounded that, and I didn't realize this at the time, but they were like, yo, your facials are making this interview so much better and so much more poignant at times when Nick is saying things that you're just like, wait, what? Bro, we don't script shit. You talk, my face is gonna react. So a lot of people slid into my DMs talking about how, like, my facials and some of the things that were being, discussed were like just fucking, bro. Like they were like, we know.
Well, and Brett the Hitman Lauderdale himself, tweeted, he seemed to be, I don't know if he was watching or he was being live streamed, live screenshotted things, screen recording things. But he basically broke it down and said that I tried to bait Nick Gage into talking badly about him. And I just admitted, before you showed up, I just admitted live to our audience, and by the way, thanks for watching, and to Brian, that I don't agree with the word bait, but I definitely phrased a few of the questions as like, aren't you mad at Brett? What do you think about Brett's choice to do this? And maybe I got a little carried away, but if you read between the lines and look at the actual questions that were posed, and especially the way that Nick handled them, Nick protected Brett at every cost. I feel like on Nick Gage's whiteboard in the park somewhere, number one mission was do not disparage Brett the Hitman, which I respect, Because we didn't say that they weren't friends for 20 years, and we didn't say that Brett Lauderdale doesn't have real love buried inside of his fucking cardboard.
We also never spoke poorly about his wife or kids, which he tried
Their
to make.
names are Parker, Jackson, Kayla.
Oh, you see, you
Emma.
said the names. You said the names, bro. You said the
I
names.
said the
Larry.
names
You
wrong,
blew
and I
it.
was like, "Is
You
that
blew
what
it.
he thought was talking ill about?" I'm sorry, I don't know their names.
You said the legal names. You know, so
You commiserated. You commiserated.
That was where I got a little weirded out. Like, I feel like Nick was kind of going off the dome too, but then he was like, "Blah blah blah." You talked bad about his family, and here's what my take is on it. Right, just like Brett furthered the subterfuge that we talked bad about his family last week, Nick probably heard that from Brett before they split. And it was just in Nick's brain about our program. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And I think that because of Larry, and dude, it started out with me. I just went right into it. I was like, "What's your status with GCW and Brett Lauderdale?" He goes, Nick's answering like a football player on the podium. He's trying to be politically correct and turn over a new leaf. And he goes, "Oh, I have mad respect for Brett Lauderdale. I owe a lot to him." And Larry just laughed right in Nick's face 30 seconds into the interview. So because we were being like, quote unquote hard hitting, and maybe we were just being ourselves, we were just being like bullies, I think Nick in his brain was probably like, I got to hit them back. I want to hit them back with some shit. And he probably thought back to the time that Brett once again lied about us making fun of his family and told Nick that we were making fun of his family. And I think Nick just had that in his brain innocently and called to it.
I don't have anything bad to say about Brett's family. Didn't I give
All
a
we've
shout out
said
to
is
his
that
mom?
they exist. That's all we've said, is that he has a family that exists.
Well, no, Pat. What I was going to say was, didn't I give a shout out to the passing of Brett's mom? That I spent all of Joey Janela's.
Anything said about family that was said has been nothing but nice words. Nothing negative was said about the man's family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hyperbole. Nope.
You did. I noticed that.
X.
Fuck, I was muted that whole time. Hi.
How long were you muted for?
I don't know, probably minutes and minutes and minutes.
You said a lot of good things.
Thanks. I'm not going to recount them.
Probably shouldn't.
I'm getting, and like all like the fucking chat's delayed. So right now I'm getting just Pat's muted. No audio.
Whatever. Just let's move on. Keep moving forward, just like Deathmatch Elite did when it got shut down by a fucking
that's a
asshole.
great segue. I still don't know what happened or why or who's responsible.
Well, it mysteriously disappeared after Brett Lauderdale was very, very angry about our live performance.
So what's the timeline? So it was our interview, and we went like 45 minutes late. Nick Gage stayed for an extra 50 minutes. And then what was the timeline? And then Brett tweeted what we just discussed while I was muted, and then Deathmatch Elite mysteriously vanished. Are we sure that that's the timeline?
100. Well, yes, but I did this show, and then I did the Roberto Negro show recounting what happened on this show, and you broke the news in the Rob Black chat saying that Deathmatch Elite was gone.
We were making news all week. So what do we think honestly happened? Brian, you're a former admin. You're close personal friends, at least you used to be, with a few people in the deathmatch community.
I'm still in the group roundtable chat with the Deathmatch Elite brethren.
I'm
not an admin.
Happened?
Not an admin.
Without throwing anybody under the bus, tell us what you believe happened after you have your finger on the pulse.
I do. Well, I believe that somebody that doesn't like Blvd Bullies and me decided that they were going to get the site shut down.
Why,
and I don't.
Why Deathmatch Elite? Why not go after us?
Well, because I am affiliated with the people of Deathmatch Elite. I was a moderator. I was a moderator.
I got messages all week saying that Brett is heavily targeting us, going after us.
People have been messaging Andy Lawler for me to be removed from Deathmatch Elite for months.
Well, the point is that I heard all week that we should remove the video, that the powers that be are trying to get like some kind of defamation of character thing and get the video struck and get us struck and get everything struck and strike. Guess what? Guess what, motherfucker? We demonetize our own selves. We strike down our own selves. Okay? What are you going to do? So the thing is that the Blvd Bullies YouTube channel and the video of Nick chatting with us still stands. But Deathmatch Elite crumbles within hours. Was it an inside job? Was it an inside jobby?
Andy Lawler says that he did not get any notifications. There was no warnings. He woke up and it's just gone. It's just gone. It is gone. Somebody. It's possible
I really feel bad for Andy Lawler because he seems like a nice guy. He's got to deal with you. He's got to deal.
I love Andy's my fucking boy. See, he lets me be myself. Andy does he's just the ultimate nice guy. Everybody complains to Andy about what I do. Nobody complains to me.
Right.
No one's in my DMs.
Sounds a lot like me when you first joined Blvd Bullies.
Mm-hmm.
You're just a force of nature.
I'm just myself.
He's an element.
Yo, Larry, I was telling before the stream started, I was saying that for somebody who has a super hot wife, he gets in trouble and gets yelled at, and he gets himself in so much trouble more than anyone I've ever known with who's punching over their head, you know?
Yeah, but what's trouble? Who's trouble? Who gets in trouble? Only
children.
Children gets in trouble. I'm an adult, grown man. People might get mad at me, but then they get over it because we're grown-ups, just like my wife.
All right, so shout out to everybody in the chat. Just to finish my thought, Andy Lawler not only has to deal with you and whoever the fuck else all the time, right? But then he just goes to sleep one night because he's a hardworking man, and he wakes up, and the thing that he's been a part of for 10 years is just gone, vanished into the night. That sounds fucking horrible, and I feel bad for that dude. My heart goes out to him.
It's really fucked up, dude, because not only not even that, it's there's memories that are unrecreatable, and you can't get.
But isn't there
back.
a 2.0?
There is a 2.0. There is now a 2.0.
Before we get into before we get into the power vacuum that happened after the death of Deathmatch Elite, I just want to read that TruthSeek. Now, I mean, I don't know this person personally, but if your YouTube username is TruthSeek, you probably are telling the truth. So, as a fact, TruthSeek says I'm an unbiased person, but it was definitely Brett that took the group down. He was making posts tagging people that even liked the post, announcing Gage's appearance, calling them out. And he was also saying Blvd Bullies shouldn't be allowed to be promoted in the group. Brett, obviously, this is Chase. What's up, Chase?
We love Chase.
We love Chase. Facts.
Brett obviously had the group mass reported and shut down. TruthSeek says, I'm not even a GCW hater, but it's so obvious. Brett hired an anonymous group of bots to report the page.
But see, if there was reports and a group was shut down by Facebook, there still would have been notifications.
See,
Like Andy Lawler would have been notified of a mass reporting and getting shut down. Like it had to have been deleted by somebody for there to be just it gone. You know what I'm
Brian,
saying?
who are the other admins?
The other admins are the suspect. Can the hired admins delete the page, or can it only be the original admin?
It would have to be people that are currently admins.
Who are the admins?
There was a bunch of admins. There was like 12 admins that were
That's your problem.
That was,
That's
and
your problem.
I wasn't one of them. I was removed. I was a removed boy.
Yo, and you made news even after we made news with the Nick news. But rest in peace to Deathmatch Elite. Mysteriously vanished in the depths of the night.
People blame me, you know. People say that it's my fault.
And you know, I just want to say, we'll get to what Andy Lawler put out like a fucking novella about the quote unquote Ginsburg situation, which we'll get to later.
Whole situation.
But
situation.
He did suggest in that post that we're going to read live on the air that if Brian triggers you, just block him. And I just want to tell you a quick story is that, Larry, you remember the year that Tournament of Death was in the parking lot on the asphalt?
Yes, my last Tournament of Death.
And we kissed on the lips.
Yeah.
And have a photo to commemorate it forever. And I was I was dressed more bombastically than ever before. And by the way, this is the first time
I met Big Joe.
Yeah, this is the first time we met Big Joe. Well, that wasn't the first time I met Big Joe, but he's great. It was his first like major TOD thing. So I was wearing the most bombastic thing ever. I was wearing a Scott Hall front and back Hannibal Lecter belly shirt. And I was wearing like 4-inch inseam shorts. You know, I was just dressed very provocatively. Because this is the height of the bullies, right?
Right, we kissed.
So that's before I got like a little fat. But anyway, we all went to a bar, a pub and grill, an Applebee's clone, somewhere along the fucking depths of a 2-lane highway in New Jersey, right? And, yo, I don't remember who was there because it was a long day. It was a long fucking day. But I remember that Kit Osborne was there. Schlack was there. Schlack benched, gorilla pressed Kit Osborne, and we almost got kicked out. He was just walking around with posting him. Maria Manick was there. And I remember that my dear friends, my best friends at the time, Joe Gacy and Amy Gacy, were there. And it's all the CZW heads at like a big table in like the middle of like the Apple. Imagine an Applebee's, right?
I love Applebee's.
And I look over, and in a booth is Brett, and then the two like merch girls who are so nice and cronies. The short blonde-haired girl,
Dana.
No, Dana was there. Dana was with him, and Jess was with him.
Just
you know what? And I look over, and I'm fucking wasted, dude. It was a long day. It was TOD day.
Is this the day you threw the popcorn on his head?
And then I look over, and you know what I see, Larry? I see Brett Lauderdale on his phone like this, filming me in my provocative outfit, having a nice time with my friends. By the way, surrounded by people not judging me, just in a fugue state, in a Vanilla Sky-like state of just
and
being
Brett
drunk,
film.
being myself, being with Schlack and Kid, and nobody's bothering. We're all just being wacky guys.
Yeah.
And then I look over, and it's like the record skipped, tracking back, zooming in, and I see fucking Brett Lauderdale filming me being fancy and free.
Yeah.
And Larry, I went over there, and I'd never been more Patrick than that moment probably in my life.
You put the
I was like, hey, what's up? I slid
popcorn
into the
on his
booth.
head?
I slid into the booth. I was like, anybody sitting here? Great. And I like came in. I was like, what's going on? Blah, 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 this and that. And I was like, is this your popcorn? Can I have some? He's like, no. I started eating his popcorn. And then he said something happened. And, once again, it was a long day. And I fucking got up and I took the thing of popcorn. I dumped it right in his lap and I walked out.
I remember this story.
And then
I remember
10
it.
seconds within that happening. And by the way, this is after the Airbnb atrocity that took place that Nick Gage mentioned.
He remembered.
I had enough. And
Nick Gage never forgets.
Think about this story, because later on when we read the news this week, this story might ring. But anyway, I had enough. We'd overpaid for the Airbnb. There were 25 fucking people there. I got blamed for getting us all kicked out, when really I was just trying to help the situation.
Sounds about right.
Nick Gage never fucking remembers. He never forgot.
Never forget. Nick Gage never forgets.
So I had enough, and I dumped this motherfucking popcorn in this dude's lap. This is probably the coolest shit ever that I've ever done. Within 10 minutes of that, I got a text from GC. What's your problem? Blah, 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 this and that. You know what I did right there in that moment? Blocked him.
Blocked him.
On
Blocked
everything.
Him. Blocked
him. Blocked Brett. Move forward with my life. Move forward. For better or worse.
Here we are now.
And the reason why I tell that long-winded story is because Andy Lawler suggested that people block you, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, you could still enjoy life. You could still enjoy the group. Just block Brian. If you got so much of a problem, block him.
But didn't Slava, the two-time Hall of Fame mentioned Slava, say don't block Brian?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He says it's entertainment.
Well, guess what? Slava's long-winded posts. I don't know if he's.
There's so many posts.
I don't know if he's sitting there at his fucking computer, or if he's sitting there on his phone with his thumbs, or if he's fucking voice memoing. And by the way, if you're voice memoing, that's not a first take. But I find his effort entertaining, Brian.
Every time there's a post, I'm flabbergasted.
He came after me. He said I'm an enabler.
You're enablers. You guys are enablers, or you just don't know. You guys don't know what I do and don't know the person that I am. You don't know the person that I truly am.
Yeah. Lava Fighterman says. Just Brian's like a cancer.
Everyone thinks that's me too.
Listen, if I, with nothing else going on other than a small YouTube channel, can fucking walk over to Brett Lauderdale, who at the time was making me feel important, and I was in on the ground floor, could have had a piece if we had just Servino'd up. Fell in
You
line.
gotta have a degree. You gotta have a job.
Good family. Car. Don't ask any fucking questions.
I had a car.
I had a car? I had a car.
I'm sorry.
So if I
way
could
too
dump
much fun.
popcorn in the lap of Brett Lauderdale, Slava could go move on with his life.
He's still moving up for Slava.
Dude, the man is
Not as
obsessed.
long as Brian's alive.
It's an obsession. It's a severe obsession.
I feel like it's like you're just like a shiny thing in the night to him. He can't help himself. You gave him the
And he came
zoomies.
for your wife.
You give him the zoomies,
Your
bro.
beautiful wife.
I'm the Amanda simp. I'm a simp for my wife. And I am. She's fucking hot as fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Does Slava have a wife?
A life? No.
I don't think dude, Slava
Oh, you
takes
said wife?
pictures.
No.
Takes wonderful pictures of beautiful ladies that are never gonna ever be his wife.
And he used to date Riddle's girl.
Right. There's
I can just
a
hear him
Billboard
typing. I can hear him
banging
typing in the
song.
night right now.
There's a Billboard song that exists that I use to post whenever he makes a long-winded fucking thing.
Right. Every time I recommend this to Brian, every time that Slava makes a 4-paragraph comment to just copy it and paste it and put into AI song generator and just make a song out of it.
But there's one song, and it's the only song that matters. And he says he loves it. He loves the song, and it reminds him of how good his life is now, and how bad Tom Riddle and his ex-fiance's
Well,
life.
and I
Matt
think it
Riddle.
also angers the members of the now deceased Deathmatch Elite, and the ease and fancy once again, like footloose and fancy free way. Like Brian just triggers them and like goes about his life. And I think the fact that he just does it so easily and he just types like a quick few sentences and it flips out. I think that angers them as well.
Yeah, people seem to think that it's the only thing that I have going for me is this deathmatch hosting. Just like this Richard Maloney. Ever hear of this Richard Maloney that does the Wrestle Death podcast? He tells me to go outside. He tells me to go outside. Like I don't go outside. I responded to him with a lovely sunset photo.
Is it
of
the same
outside.
sunset photo that
No,
became...
it's actually a completely different sunset.
It's a different sunset that you took in.
Water by the water. Because I go outside.
You go near water.
I go near water. Legendary views.
Great visuals.
Great visuals. Top tier.
Top tier visuals. And Brian, when you took this top tier visual, were you wearing a hockey jersey that was neon yellow that had your own last name on the back and a Viking hat?
No.
Oh, because that sounds like the uniform of a clout chaser if I ever heard of one. But hey, we digress. Let's talk more about Nikki. Larry, you were a little late, so let me just get your impressions of the whole deal with him and the fallout of it.
I couldn't believe he came. I couldn't believe he came. And
We manifest shit here.
I mentioned something to y'all that like when I saw him at the Battleground Championship, he seemed like a lot more alert, a lot more alive, Nikki, than the one that I saw down in Houston for the SVN. And that alive, awake, with it, Nikki was who showed up for our podcast last week. Like I saw him down in Houston, and I'm not gonna lie, he was like a little foggy in Houston at the Airbnb when I was just like, dude, you're here, like I was like, I didn't even know you were, I thought you didn't show or something. And then I saw him in Philly and he was like old Nikki. And then last week, I guess I was kind of like, is this really even Nikki? Because I was not expecting.
I was shocked too. I thought it was an impersonator. I thought it was Brett in disguise.
Well, I wanted to see him. Pat. I wanted to see him. And eventually we saw him. But at first we didn't see him. At the beginning of that interview with Nikki in the parking lot with the whiteboard, we didn't see nothing. We could just hear things, but eventually we saw him. We had the ocular.
And
Yeah,
I was mentioning before
I couldn't believe he granted us the time. And I was happy to hear that from Saturday to Tuesday or whenever I had seen him, he was the same Nick. I was happy.
Yeah, people were couldn't stop talking about how good he sounded because you couldn't see him. He was in the dark.
Yeah,
But he
but
sounded
when
good.
when you look at the video that's posted after, like I realized that during the Zoom, you really could never see him.
Right.
But if you look at the video after the video that was posted, you can see him. You can see him pretty clear.
So there's
He's
times where you
there.
can see. You can see. There's times where you can see
he's
him.
there. And I just was kind of I was really like shocked a little bit that number one, he came, and number two, like I said, when I saw him in Philly, he was upstairs, like, drinking it up, Masaдаing it up, ruckusing it up, slacking it up. And I'm like, oh, there he is. That wasn't who I just saw like less than a month ago in Houston. And then for our thing, once again, we get it's almost like how they said Gucci Mane was cloned. It's almost like Nick was cloned.
Well, and not to pull the curtain back,
Substance.
but I did hear from a friend who was at that Philly show that everybody goes out afterwards, and Nick was like, nah, I can't go out because if I get out, I'm going to get in trouble. And went back to the hotel, didn't go out. So then the story that he told on our show and the way that he was and the energy that he gave kind of corroborated that story. It's like, hey, I did rehab for as much as I needed. I fucking bounced up out of there. And, whatever. But there have been all these new developments since last week. Do you know about any of this, Larry?
No.
Okay, if I said to you a name, Roman Rose, does that sound familiar?
RR?
Yeah, that would be the initials, yeah.
I don't know that person.
Okay, I don't know this person either, right? But this is 2 days ago, all right? 2 days ago was November 3rd, November 4th. I guess Nikki was supposed to fight Sami Callihan. You remember?
I do.
West Side Gun.
All right, so this guy goes, yesterday things didn't go as planned. You just had to be there. I just had to be there for the homie. After the whole quote-unquote leaving rehab stunt, Nick went back home. He called me and apologized for how he was acting and said he wants to change his life around. This was the most coherent I've heard Nick. He sounded motivated, and he was. We talked every week, and it seemed like he was a man trying to get his life together. He told me he was booked for the 4th Rope show, which was this past weekend, and he wanted me to come with him. We planned it all out, and the content we were going to get, and this weekend, blah, blah, blah. We got to the venue and everything was cool, and then as it got closer to the match, I felt a sudden shift in the energy. All the wrestlers and staff got quiet. Everybody was staring and not speaking, just weird energy. People in the locker room telling me, leave him alone. He's a grown-ass man. Let him fall on his face. Don't enable him. And I'm confused, trying to figure out what's going on. At the end of the day, that's my friend, and my friend needed me. Bummed out when we went back to the hotel, he ate a salad, and we pondered on the blind side we were hit with. Later, Brett Lauderdale sent me photos of Nick in the locker room passed out. Nick said, oh, now wrestlers are taking photos of other wrestlers in the locker room? I was just tired. I had just gotten off the phone, rushed to the venue, smoked a joint, and I took a little cush nap. I'd been in the building for 6 hours. That's what this guy says that Nick said in response to these photos of him asleep in the locker room at 4th Rope. From what I was told by TNA staff, the event was done through TNA's insurance. And following the recent accident with Chris Bay, they were scared to take any chance with Nick being in the ring due to his recent allegations and the recent news being brought up around his name. Just know, Nick Gage isn't letting this stop him. If anything, you motivated him even more. Screw all you virtue signaling, pick-me, brown-nosed wrestlers and promoters taking pictures of just people taking a little cush nap in the locker room. I'm drawing the line in the sand. I'm going to keep it real. So this is what happened. There are videos of Nick at the show eating, looking healthy. So this is what this fucking guy says. Larry, do you care to comment on this? So I guess what happened is they thought that he was unable, Nick, the management of 4th Rope thought that Nick was unable to wrestle because of, I guess, him taking a nap or whatever was going on. And I guess other wrestlers in the locker room were taking pictures of him and sending them to Brett and sending them around. And, just like Brett was videoing me at that wannabe Applebee's. I've never gotten as many screenshots of texts sent to me as I have been from promoters. But Was it a nap? Was it not? So then what happens is, in this thread, Joey Janela comments that he received the photos and he's known Nick for like a long time. And Brian, stop me if I'm misinterpreting this. This is all like paraphrasing.
No, all facts, all
and
facts.
that it was a serious problem and that Nick Gage needs help. And Brett Lauderdale jumped on this post and commented, Nick needs help. All you motherfuckers, including Brian, including this guy, Rose Roman or whatever, you don't know half of what's been offered to Nick and the extent in which that they've been trying to help him and like fuck off and he needs help and don't enable him. There's that word again. And blah, blah, blah. And Larry, to which Brian comments something along the lines of, oh, what? Nick Gage could be on drugs at a GCW show and it's fine, and if he's on drugs at another show, he needs serious help? Which is so simple, but, you know, I'm not saying right or wrong, just an interesting thought. I will say on a personal level, I read all of this, and I hated Brian. And I don't like these two other motherfuckers at all. But I just cringe, like, Brian, just leave it be. You know, let this guy RR argue with this guy JJ.
I get it.
And let
That's
them
what he said.
fucking decide who's an idiot. You know,
it's the
whatever.
internet too, but the point is, the whole point of everything is that the man posted it on a forum on the internet. I have every right to comment and
Just
say
your
whatever
immediate
I
thoughts.
want.
Because
Right,
you're,
I can
you're
say whatever
living
the
near
fuck
water,
I want, dude.
You're going to the water. You're going and gazing upon sunsets. You're taking your shoes off. You're walking in the grass. You're watching movies. You're going out to dinner with your wife. And you just read this real quick and you went, hey, what about this, and this? And then went on to view another sunset.
Right.
Larry,
That's the point of the fucking internet.
chime in, please.
I mean, I guess the point that I'm gleaning from your example, Pat, is that, you know, you can let sleeping dogs lie. Just because you can say something doesn't mean you have to. And sometimes by saying that something, it enables the Slavas to be like, oh, you got no life. All you do is hawk the internet and look for shit to fucking say, where the rest of us are being mentioned by two-time Porn Hall of Famers.
Two-time!
Brian, you don't have to say shit.
Two!
No, I don't have to. I say what I want.
I know you do, and I love
and
you
you know
for
what?
it.
In my
I have
initial
no
reaction, my initial reaction,
And every action has a reaction.
100%. I have no problems with people reacting.
My initial reaction was, come on, Brian, just stay out of it. But then the more I thought about it, the more I saw how triggered everyone got, I was like, you know what? Fuck yeah, Brian. Fuck them.
I often am like, come on, Bri. But then
Nah, but it's
once
like,
I
fuck
see
'em.
everybody talking, I'm like, good job, Bri.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an interesting thought. You know, when
Yeah,
we-
and now
when we-
I'm an enabler.
I mean, who isn't
Both
an
of them.
enabler?
Anybody on the internet is an enabler. Every time you hit that like, every time you hit that share, every time you hit that dislike, every time you hit that emoji,
So
you're enabling.
Here's where I'm at with it. Nick came on our show. He made headlines across all the fucking bullshit. And he said, hey, yeah, I was in rehab. And I fucking bounced because I was better. And me and Brett, I love him. He's my best friend. You know, blah, blah, blah. But we just don't see eye to eye. And I'm bouncing out and I'm doing my own thing. And I'm turning over a new leaf. And this guy posted this thing that goes, oh, well, Nick was asleep in the locker room. The powers that be said he wasn't able to wrestle. But, yo, that ain't no thing. He just took a little cush nap. And here's video evidence of him acting like the same guy that Larry just described in energy, right? And it wasn't Brian, but it was Joey and Brett who commented on that and said, yo, this is a lie. He's on drugs. We had moles send us photos. So,
They're
listen, I guess the number one question is Nick Gage on drugs or not? And look, as a guy who loves drugs, I understand how hard it must be. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really hard.
I'm doing drugs right now.
And
weed's not a drug. Weed's not a drug. It just grows like that.
and
Yeah,
I don't
you're
know.
right. You're right. You're right.
Like,
Brian.
like, okay.
Alcohol's a little worse than weed.
Let me,
Well,
let
I
me
mean,
just,
I-
let me just say
I
this
know,
because we have to turn the page and get to the next chapter of this fucking long-winded story. But I'm just saying, like, why, if Brett and Joey, the heart and soul of GCW,
Mhm.
The Last Outlaws.
you know, besides Nick, care so much and have been doing so much silently behind the scenes for so long, why was it just now that they decided to break their silence and comment to Deathmatch Elite, who they are both obviously so above in status? Why is it just now that they are deciding to pull the curtain back, which is a fucking quote from our boy in the fucking comments, which you know somebody's a dumbass loser if they say that. And newsflash, we say that in jest because those are the facts. But whatever. I hate to pull the curtain back, but the guy's a drug addict. He needs help. And fuck all you fuckers who just want him in the ring one more time. It's like, okay, fair enough. But just by doing that, you are kind of giving a little bit of energy to the Brian thought.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Right?
Just like
so
when
why now? So if you're so fucking dedicated and you're all about your fucking brother and your best friend, why is it that within the week of the Blvd Bullies interview where he said nothing bad about you, he defiantly deflected, that's a fucking quote or whatever, if within the same week that he protected you on our fucking biased interview, why would you comment on a post protecting Nick, saying that today's the day on Deathmatch Elite 2, by the way, because you got one shut down? You're in the second fucking incarnation of the first thing you got shut down because you were in a fucking panic that Nick was being chill on our show. And then you comment calling him a fucking drug addict and saying that there's so many things. Oh, I'm finally feeling the curtain back. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that now? Is it A, because the problem has gotten more serious than it's ever been, which, by the way, isn't true because he's actually trying now? Or is it B, just because of the timing and how it hurts your own fucking ego? So if you're all about it, why are you acting this way? If Brian's so much fucking lower than you, why are you spending so much fucking time thinking about him and talking about him? Am I muted? Am I muted now?
I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. I hope not.
Am I making
Are you
any
muted?
fucking sense at all?
No.
I have heard nothing but facts.
See, you're catching me up. You're catching me up because I'm a busy bee. I'm a busy bee. You know, I don't get to
and
see it all.
within that last rant, I flipped my phone off of the table, so I have to go back. Okay, so let me go back. So I just read that post, right? Sam Meeks, I see commenting. There's so many comments on this shit. I'm
love Sam
trying to
Meeks.
find.
Good.
We still have to get to the
and
best part of the show.
Somehow, Brian, and somehow.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you.
It's good, man.
We got a lot to
Okay,
talk
the original
about.
post. Joey Janela. Ready? This is the original post. Off the original post, this is his comment. I've known Nick since 2008, and he wasn't okay. Cut the bullshit. I received pictures and videos of him from yesterday, and you guys in the locker room, and the situation wasn't good. People were extremely worried. Nick needs help, and he needs it ASAP. Your dream matches can wait. Stop enabling him. He needs help. And then Roman Rose, the fucking guy who was there with him, says, I'm not in it for no dream matches. I'm literally here to help. I've let him know Brett is offering him rehab. I'm just trying to look out for him while y'all are out in Hawaii. I didn't set up the match. I didn't reach out to Fourth Rope to book the match. Nick hit me up. I went to support and make sure he was all right. Blah, blah, blah. And then, by the way, it's just general discourse. Joey Janela talking to this guy openly. Brett Lauderdale saying, "You think we haven't done this, Roman? What do you think is going on? The truth that you actually have no idea what we've done from behind the scenes." So this is all what I'm talking about. It's right there for you to look at in Deathmatch Elite 2.0. The thing that most people agree is only existing because Brett Lauderdale himself shut down 1.0 because Nick was on our show last week. So, and then Brian commented, what I said before. What's the difference between Nick being on drugs in GCW and Nick being on drugs somewhere else? And why do you care so much all of a sudden? But I think, like I said, the greater question is, why now, after all you've done and everything that you've sacrificed and the love and the brotherhood and the family you feel, why now? After all the shit that's talked and all the screens that have been recorded, why now would you decide to argue with somebody in the comments about, like Joe Janela and Brett Lauderdale, about Nick's sobriety and shit like that?
Whatever the case may be, whatever the truth is, if they're saying that it's this bad, I think that what is most important is Nicolas Gage being okay. Like, well, I mean,
Yeah.
like,
and and I'm
like
sure
they're making these claims that are that's like, it's like serious shit. So it's like people are, if one man is saying that he's not on drugs and you are saying that he is on drugs,
he's probably
what
on
is that?
drugs.
Like, I mean, that might be the case, but I mean, you have to take it seriously. You can't just say, "Oh, they're lying because they're pieces of shit."
Well,
like,
and that's what I'm saying.
You have to take it seriously and check, like make sure the guy's all right.
Like, I believe that Joey is telling what he believes to be the truth. I'm sure that Brett has done a lot for Nick, but it's just interesting. Like, my issue isn't their love for him or their belief that that Brian sucks. Everyone's entitled to whatever.
It's all in the timing.
It's all in the timing. So why now? It's like, because it's a fucking move, because it's a work. And look, it's not even. It could not even be a lie. It could all be true. But even the timing in which you release the truth is a work. Like, because if you're not all about the, whatever, I'm getting drunk.
I'm with you, Pat. I'm with you.
Shit.
I'm with you. It's strategic.
Clip the thing before. It's it's not genuine.
Yes.
And these motherfuckers all have a history of laughing at people, not with them. Via screenshots, via fucking group chats. All
So
these
now
people,
you
fucking GC,
now you want to be holier
fucking
than
JJ,
that.
fucking
Yep,
BL,
Mhm.
DD. They all have a fucking history of fucking laughing at people, not with them, but making them feel like they're part of it, but really they're the fucking stooge. And they take fucking pleasure in that. Guess why, Larry? Guess why? I'll give you one guess. Because they're fucking nerds. Because they've always been nerds. Because they've always been lame. Because they got fucking picked on in high school. Not by jocks or popular people or rich people. Because some of these motherfuckers are even rich too. Just because they don't know how to fucking interact with people. And they don't know how to be just normal and chill. And that's my fucking take, Larry. Fuck them all. Long live Bad Take Bry. You
The whole situation. There's
are
a situation.
all responsible for the fucking creation of Bad Take Bry. So look at yourselves in the mirror.
100%.
I stand. Bad Take Bry.
Sometimes you yell at me.
That's just because I really love you.
Yeah, now I'm going to get threatened. Now somebody's going to now somebody's going to go research what the name of my mom is and say it in a Facebook group chat.
You have to embrace it.
Somebody's going to say something hyper personal about me. Why are they saying it? Because their brain just ain't fast enough to keep up with us.
I gotta say something.
Right to the heart. Always to the heart.
Or violence.
You're lucky we don't have hearts.
Can we get to my favorite part of the
Let's
show?
get to Larry's favorite part of the show, dude. I'm sorry, I'm like dominating this week, but I just had a lot of fucking
okay.
feelings after last week, dude.
It's okay. I have to take my godson to school. I'm trashed.
Right. So
I thought you
Larry's
said
favorite
no godson tonight.
I don't. I said I don't have to take my godson to school. I'm
You're
trash.
trash. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Thank goodness.
everybody knows Larry's favorite part of the show is the giveaway. And the giveaway, basically, we show rare, exclusive items. Rare, very rare, highly rare items. You comment on the YouTube video, not the live chat. You have to wait for the YouTube show to end and then go comment on the YouTube video. The more you comment, the more chances you have to enter into the Wheel of Fortune, which we will read the comments the following week and then randomize and spin the Wheel of Fortune and then show the next week's giveaway.
All right, so this week... Okay, go ahead.
It's a big giveaway. You got the Terrifier 1 and 2 DVDs. Terrifier 1 and 2.
Oh, come on.
1 and 2, Larry. 1 and 2, Larry. You got the Rob Black signed Christmas VIP pass. Suffocation sticker. Very sick. Horror Pain Gore. Friend of the show. Friend of the Bullies. You get the comic book. They're hoping that Donald Trump wins tonight. We are not sure. They're going to be part of the insurrection if Kamala Harris wins, for sure. They're gonna bust in there tight.
Okay, keep going. Because I'm waiting for the.
And the last two things, you get the Blvd Bullies Desert Eagle, and the Schlacking.
Brian, show us.
Oh, and also, how can I forget? I forgot. The socks, freshly worn. Whoever wins this giveaway, there are over 50 entrants for this giveaway. Some of you might not even want the giveaway because you hate us.
But they want the socks.
If you get the giveaway, you have to say if you want socks. If you don't say you don't want the socks, you're getting the socks.
Brian,
so if you don't want the socks, you have to say it, and you have to send me your address.
I feel like I'm surprised that Joey Janela didn't comment. A lot of our
regulars, we don't know. A lot of these people, I don't know who the fuck they are.
A lot of our regulars, we got a lot of hate comments, but a lot of our regulars commented love and said they didn't want the socks. And Schlack made one comment and said, "I'm just here for the socks," which is the most popular comment. It's got like 25 likes. So I didn't
include Schlack in the giveaway because he's the fourth bully.
I hereby motion that we send Schlack the socks before we even spin the Wheel of Fortune.
So you're saying that Schlack gets my wife's
socks?
No, because somebody may have actually commented for the socks low key.
I think that if we send these socks to Schlack, that he has to come on this show with the socks.
Wearing them.
Wearing the socks.
It's not even like a sex thing. He just like he needs new socks.
He definitely needs socks.
Like he's just low on socks.
I bet you Schlack's foot fits in this sock. I bet you Schlack's foot fits in this
Schlack really cute. He has really cute, like pastel colored ankle socks of every day of the week, but he needs Tuesday. He's missing Tuesday, so that's why he's here for the socks.
Yeah, he definitely needs the Tuesdays.
Those are ankle. Are those ankle socks or are they?
Oh yeah, there's definitely ankle. Definitely an ankle.
Somebody in the chat suggesting that Brian, you go into the room and take off Amanda's socks, and Schlack gets today's socks.
Oh, but these are Tuesday. It's funny because it's Tuesday.
Yeah, no, I know.
Today's Tuesday.
All right, so whatever.
Someone just wants you to go.
Let's read these comments. Look, there are 50 comments.
Touche.
I'm gonna run through them. I'm gonna try not to branch, but I will branch briefly. And if I branch briefly, respond briefly. Are we good? Are we ready? Tony Norman, Blvd Bullies rule the world. Great show. Truth Seek, who was mentioned before. Can you guys talk about the, quote, Lava Spider-Man post on Deathmatch Elite? I thought it was hilarious parody of a long Slava post complaining about Brian. Oh, maybe it was. Maybe somebody has created an alter ego, like a Weird Al. But nobody understood that he got banned immediately. They thought it was a burner account bitching about Brian. Even Slava himself was in the comments agreeing with the fake account and bitching about Brian.
You can't make this shit up, dude.
Oh, my God. Get a life. Shaved Badger. Disgusting. Just disgusting name. My two favorite things are sniffing bike seats in the park and slamming my gonads in the kitchen drawer.
I feel like he wanted these socks.
I hope this guy wants the socks. That's a socks comment. John Homicide says, Nick sounds good. John E. Richter, friend of the program, says, fucking loved this interview. Haters will shit on it and try to twist the narrative. We got a very clear update on our boy, and he knocked down all rumors. Keep grinding. Steve Ross, the pod that kills groups. Fucking loved it. Gonna have to catch up on tonight's show tomorrow afternoon, blah, blah, blah. Dying Fetus concert. Brian, did you meet Steve at Dying Fetus?
No, I was at the Dying Fetus show at New York.
Yeah, you say here, so
awesome.
fucking good. Have a dope time. Make sure to catch Angel Maker and Vomit Forth. Thanks, dude. I've seen blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool.
Those exact words.
Lucha Libre says 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 17 seconds. The exact moment Larry and Pat know they are getting worked. Where is the mic that Brian paid for? I really missed Larry in the end of the interview for the really spicy questions. I guess I got spicier as time went on. Card Story says, so awesome you got Gage. Y'all always seem to score the timely interviews. Larry's the best. But he seemed to be having a tough night here. Thanks for all the entertainment. Larry, did you have a tough night last week?
I mean, I couldn't believe it. Like, I've never been
in shock.
I've never been gagged, okay? Like, of the show, except for when the body said what he said, and Nick. So I guess I kind of was like, whoa, he's here. He's here. And keep in mind that at first I couldn't see him. None of us could see him. We could just hear him. So I was kind of like...
And he sounded more energized. You know, he was in like...
Dude, that's what I'm saying, Pat. I saw him in Houston.
You could have squinted your ears and thought it was a Nick Gage
impersonator. He was mellow yellow for his birthday. Very, like, not present. And then I saw him in Philly. He was with it. And then he comes back on here and he's with it. So it's very interesting to me to hear the thing that you're telling me about him being at that Callahan show, sleeping in the backstage area, and Joey and Brett jumping on it like he needs help.
Yo, we didn't really put a conclusion on that, so let me branch real quick. I mean, I don't know, it's confusing because he did sound so good at the show, and Larry, you have an eyewitness account of him sounding so good at the shows that you were on. He was great here with us last week. Was it a cush snap or was it a problem? I mean, and once again, I don't want to flush and think that Joe Janela and Brett Lauderdale are pieces of shit. They are, but I don't believe that their posts that they made, despite their egotistical intentions, I don't think that they actually said words that were lies to them. I feel like they believe they love and want to help Nick, and that people like us and people like just the community and other people are like hurting him. I feel like that's what they really believe. So, Larry, you've been around for longer than Brett, for longer than Joey, for just, maybe not as long as Nick, but Nick has a respect for you. What's your official...
Nick and I are the same. I think Nick and I are the same year. We broke, I think, I don't know, 2001, right after 9/11. For you, those of you who want to know my origin story, right after I saw the people jumping from the tower, when I saw the people dying, that's when I was like, I gotta not die one day without having tried everything that I wanted to try. So I'm 2001. That's my origin of getting involved.
Interesting.
I mean,
Wrestling
I
is, and
was-
it's funny. It's funny because I'm sorry to interrupt you, but wrestling is the one thing that didn't stop when 9/11 happened, which is an interesting
Yeah, because
thing.
wrestling's fucking horrible. His wrestling's run by evil people at every fucking level. All right, Cranola. It's shite being Boulevard Bullies. We're the low. I feel like this is like a poem or a song.
No, yeah, he's hype. He's hype. He's
It's
like
all-
singing.
it's
He's
in
like
all
he's a
caps.
Boulevard Bully. He's a Boulevard Bully singing
It's
this
in all
song.
caps, so I'm going to try to perform this as best I can.
Yep.
It's shite being Boulevard Bullies. We're the lowest of the low. The scum of the fucking deathmatch earth. The most wretched, miserable, servile, pathetic podcast that was shat into YouTube. Some people hate the Fed. I don't. They're just assholes. We, on the other hand, are funded by wankers. Can't even find a decent promotion to be helped by. We're ruled by fucking Rob Black. It's a shite state of affairs to be in Ven. On all the Ginsburg cocksucking in the world won't make any fucking difference. Brian, I don't think this is a positive poem. I feel like this is a negative one.
I like him.
I like it too. Thank you.
Come here.
Funny to see you guys try to bait Gage into talking shit and fail miserably. Fuck you, MDK SPO forever.
Old fan. This guy used to be our friend. This guy, the Rogue, whatever this guy. I know this comment.
Brandon Kirk?
No, this whoever made that comment. I've
Brandon
sent
Rogue.
Is he
him
called the
giveaways.
Rogue?
I've sent him giveaways.
Is he called the Road?
What? Wait, I thought he was maybe doing a satire on people who hate us. Maybe he doesn't hate us.
The one that you just read.
Yeah.
No,
Rogue.
he doesn't.
Rogue?
He's mad. He's mad. He
doesn't
doesn't
Is
like
he
us.
the Road?
No, it's the Roach.
Oh.
But Big L says, I'm going to guess the movie that begins with A is Audition. I have no idea what this was about. I have no recollection of what we were talking about with A. Brian, do you?
What'd you say?
Larry, do you?
I have no. I saw Audition recently, but I don't know what the fuck that guy's talking about.
Give us a 5-star rating on Audition.
Oh, 4.5. 4.5.
Seems a little high.
What's the audition?
Well, Pat, any movie that you gotta read, okay? Any subtitled movie that you gotta read,
I love subtitle movies.
bro. That's like, oh, dude.
I watch regular
stop.
movies with subtitles.
Huh?
I
do
put
that sometimes,
I
but
put
this is a
subtitles
Korean
on just
movie. This is a Korean horror movie with subtitles to be able to understand.
When you're
But it's
watching
so-
when you're watching the language of the movie that you're watching the text of, it's called closed captioning. It's not called subtitles.
Indeed.
But it's the
Yes,
same
yes,
language.
that's closed captioning. But yeah, this is subtitles. Korean is what they speak, but you got to read. But bro, it's so good. You're reading voraciously to see what happens next. So I loved Audition. I saw it on the silver screen.
You know,
I
I
didn't even
feel
see it.
like I always wanted to prefer subtitles with my Japanese films, like my my Throne of Blood, my Seven Samurai. I always wanted subtitles, like the oldies, you know. But Squid Game had such good voice acting that I watched it with.
well,
you know,
if it had
voiceover.
like good voice acting is hard to come by in Japanese movies. I feel it's like usually not great. It's like usually like comical. It's like
Yeah.
usually
I felt
like
I felt
better
a little
to watch
cheap.
it
I felt
with-
a little lame watching it with the voiceover.
What was Kung Fu Hustle? Was Kung Fu Hustle subtitles?
Ooh, I don't remember.
The 25th anniversary of that movie. I saw it twice in the theaters.
Wesley Easter says, I saw Nick Gage versus George South in Winston-Salem. Fucking sick-ass match. Oh, this is a guy who really hates us. Nick Gage wants to run his own promotion, but shows up to an interview with 3% battery. Great point. Love it. I think I might be the one sole thumbs up on that. And then this guy says, nice work talking over Nick Gage at every opportunity. Which, listen, I don't disagree with you. But this is just what we do here on the show.
No one's
That's
ever
what
done.
y'all did to me on the
Yeah,
most highest viewed episode.
Even
Remember?
every episode we've ever
And I
done,
feel like we did it worse
everybody's
to
liked
you than
their
even to
interview.
Nick.
Everybody has enjoyed their interview and has thanked us and has been thankful for letting them come on our show. No one ever said it was a shit time. No one ever had a bad time. So
First
suck our
time
dick.
commenter Brahala says, great interview. Looking forward to Nick Gage taking over again. Something white guy says 1 hour 3 minutes. You don't have to endure the children. Don't know what that is. Death Crew Apparel Design, MDK all day, every day. Horror, pain, gore, death. Which I guess horror, pain, gore, death. HPGD has like a 7 fucking collab going.
They're doing a
SVN.
collab. They're doing a collab show.
Yeah, collab show. Hey, congrats. Nick is the
Awesome
man, and wish him the best of luck building his brand. Nicest guy in real life and humble as hell. Legendary episode. Anthony LaRosa says, sad Nick isn't in GCW for the meanwhile, but he sounds like he's doing great. Here's for his new journey. Wesley Easter, we love Nick Gage. HPGD! Suffocation Rules. OG Death Metal Legends. See your Slacks band, call the paramedics tonight. Stoked. Hatchet Von Frankenstein says, very informative interview. Sick of the path Brett has been taking. GC dub. So seeing Gage in different companies will bring new life to deathmatch scene. Alex Linder. Alex Linder still lives, Larry.
I don't know who that is.
Sounds like a familiar name.
Super
to me
appropriate
some
for y'all to be getting fucked up while on a call with a guy who just got out of rehab.
reason.
Do better. Y'all are trash.
That's what happens when you come on Blvd Bullies versus the World. He knew what he
Larry commented back, we are always appropriate for our audience, noob.
Yeah, who is that guy?
Yo, it's not, that's what I'm saying. It's not that serious. That was hard to get through. 3 fucking losers looking for drama. Wow. I mean, I guess you're right.
DeMonto. That's DeMonto. That's Danny DeMonto. Whoever that is, that's Danny DeMonto.
Yeah,
That's who that is.
It got 2 thumbs up. Battleground was excellent.
Yeah,
Shrek
the
and
three
Dream
I
thumbs
thumbs
up
up.
were
I
Danny
thumbs up
DeMonto.
all the
Gage.
comments.
It was
Can't
Tina
wait for
the Struggles.
December.
I thumbs up all the comments.
Chase Orlog.
Me too. I do too.
Fire interview. Great work, gents. Wesley Easter, don't delete. Roger Decker. Larry and these other 2 are shit. Larry acting like a high 12-year-old. Larry, how old were you when you first got high? Was it 12?
20.
He was
Wow.
20. Yo, I might have been 2, dude.
I was
dropped
too
out of-
young.
I dropped
was
out
too
of-
young.
I dropped out of NYU, and then when I came back to visit my friends that were able to afford NYU, they had all discovered smoking.
Marijuana
And I was
or
like,
crack?
oh shit, I missed this. What is it? And they introduced me to it.
I smoked weed and I drank and I had sex at probably a way too young of an age. But I-
15?
Younger. And the first time I ever smoked weed, I was with James, my best man, James, and we stole
I know
his
James.
father's.
Larry,
Son
we
of
were
baby.
doing cocaine and smoking cigarettes during James's speech.
Yes,
Yeah.
we
I'm
stole James's father's clips, and we would put them in Post-it notes, and smoke the Post-it notes.
The
Full of
first time I
clips.
ever smoked, I smoked leaves in loose leaf paper. from
And I didn't have
school.
I
smoked-
wasn't having sex with James. I was having sex with other girl my age,
Hey,
which was
anyway,
too young to be having
these
sex.
comments, we're in the rough part of the comments. This is where we're really getting the hate. And look, yo, we're
Go-
not really great
Pat,
interviewers.
Just go.
Good God, I'm just here for Gage. Larry Legend is unbearable. And then they commented 1 hour, 12 minutes. I'm not even going to watch or care about any of this. I'm just into doing this show. Alex knows, responding to Thoughts of a Cowboy, I'm teleporting all day, especially if nobody knows I'm gone. If you're married, you know being able to disappear sometimes would be epic. P.S. Awesome interview. Looking forward to more. Brian, I feel like this would be a good time to branch and tell the people about the other interviews we have coming up this month.
Are we going to announce all of them or just the fourth one of them?
Announce all. Everything in November. Announce right now. Spill
Pat,
it.
Brian, just go.
I'm going. I'm good. We're good. We're gonna next week we have the the creator of We Love Wrestling, Thomas Trainwreck. Thomas Trainwreck will be joining Boulevard Bullies versus the World.
Thomathan.
Thomathan Trainwreck will be joining Boulevard Bullies versus the World. Death Proof, Thomathan Trainwreck.
Thomathan Trainwreck.
Yes. And then not the following week, but the week after that. I believe it's the 26th of November.
Michael,
the owner of Seven and possible billionaire backer of Circle Six, joining the show.
He's got
Michael
money.
Gavorkian? Is it Gavorkian?
Yes, like Kevorkian, but with a G.
Is it like Kevorkian, but it's
with a G.
Gavorkian?
But
Gavorkian.
with a G.
Interesting.
All right, I'm scrolling past all the other people who are saying about job for a cowboy, thoughts of a cowboy teleportation. And by the way, we have another thrilling thoughts of a cowboy episode upcoming, but we just gotta fucking power through this. Matt Sequinas here for the first time to hear Gage and will not be back. These hosts are poop, 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 especially Larry Legend, annoying as fuck. And then Wesley Easter, God bless you.
Larry gets all the hate when the episodes are popular.
Yo, dude, Larry is getting trashed right here.
Dude, I think what it is that everybody likes me going off. They like me going off, and they expected that for these comments I would. I love it. Give me more.
It makes us
Wesley
come.
Easter says this show's great. You suck. The other guy says Bob sucks. A new person. So not even the original commenter. A new person says, and by the way, I hope this person wins the giveaway. Bob sucks 9647. LOL. No. No, it's not. And then I feel like this guy Bob sucks like 2 days later watched it again and goes, yes, it is no, it's not.
He's in the
Hey,
giveaway
Bob,
twice.
Thank you so much for trying twice. Like, God bless you. 666 says Nick Gage can work for Pito Rob Feinstein's Battleground Company. It's very big. Gangster did time in prison, just like Nick. It's funny how many people work for a Pito Rob, but absolutely hate Rob Black. Brad Sabbath says, can't wait to see Nick on a better show.
Jesus Christ.
This
guy
was like
hates
watching
us.
a bunch of 16-year-olds interview somebody. Show is awful, and this is why you can't crack more than 1,000 views, even with somebody like Nick Gage as a guest. I'll tell you what, Brad Sabbath, if you are the son of Jack Sabbath.
He's not.
We
Don't believe him
1,000.
We cracked 2.
We cracked
2,000.
We're creeping upon 3.
So put that in your Sabbath pipe and smoke it. Bren says, very proud of you guys for getting this interview with Gage. So funny. When we have no negative comments, Bren will shit all over us. But because we got shit all over, Bren was like, hey, great job, guys.
We love Brent. Brent thinks I
oh boy,
I rigged the giveaway because Horror Pain Gore Death won more than one giveaway. But I just want Bren to know that these giveaways are completely shoots.
Legit.
Complete shoots.
They're a shoot, brother. What happened to Larry? You think Larry's
fuck
okay?
you.
Is there a haunting?
Oh no! Now it looks like we're interviewing Nick Gage. Oh, there's Larry.
I'll be right back.
Yeah,
All right.
I'll be right
interviewing
back.
Nick Gage.
Come back. We still have
Rhinestone
to get through
Cowboy,
these
who we're
fucking
going to get to,
comments.
says, I have to comment because I want the studs. The fact that Deathmatch Elite...
Rhinestone Cowboy doesn't get entered in into the competition anymore. Rhinestone Cowboy, you're one of us, so I'm sorry. You're disqualified.
Roland says, rest in peace, Deathmatch Elite. Give me that merch. Tony Norman, great show. Gage always delivers. RSP feud was epic. Witted Jewel says GCW going away from deathmatch wrestling and the hardcore style in order to cater to WWE would be shocking. I mean, that's what they're already doing. John Richter says, P.S. if I win, I don't want the socks. John Richter says, I have to admit, I wasn't expecting him to talk about everything he did. I really think we need a part 2 ASAP. We should have done a part 2 tonight, dude. Kudos to having him better himself and his life. Mad love and respect to Nick.
Facts.
Theory, I think that WWE having eyes on GCW more in 2024 and the WWE ID, Nick's sudden departure could be collateral. Just a theory. But also, I'm a huge Cornette fan, so my opinion is probably the mute to the most. Mad love to Boulevard.
Nick Gage threatened Jim Cornette on this show, allegedly. On site. It's on site between Nick Gage and Jim Cornette. He said on site, allegedly.
I don't even remember that.
Said it.
I'm sure, listen, if Jim, I don't want Jim to get a hold of our interview because I feel like Jim would have the same opinions of all of our haters in the comments. Larry,
for sure.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Somebody said that I'm a huge Jim Cornette fan, so my opinion is probably mute to most. I was just saying to Brian that I don't want Jim Cornette to get a hold of our interview because I feel like Jim Cornette's take on our interview would be exactly the same as the most heated and hated comments. Jim Cornette would see right through all of our bullshit and he'd say, it's 3 drunk and high idiots interviewing this other guy who's an idiot. So I hope that our shit does not reach Jim's ears.
I hope it does. We're ourselves, dude. People that like us, and people that don't. We speak facts, our facts. We speak our own truths.
If Jim Cornette mentions the Nick Gage interview on his podcast, I'm gonna get sober. I'm gonna join AA. I'm gonna let Brett Lauderdale pay for rehab for me. Brett Lauderdale, listen to me. If you are watching this, if you are getting sent this, let me just tell you that I miss you. I love you and I appreciate you. And if you wanted to pay for me to go to rehab for 6 months, 90 days, little steroids, just to reassess my situation, I'd be so into that. And then you'd have an advocate right here on this program. Sorry, guys.
For what?
Last comment. Collecting with Caleb. Obviously, Schlack is right here. The first comment saying, I'm here for the socks. Collective says, so good to see and hear from Nick. I wish nothing but the best for him, personally and in wrestling.
Shout out Collecting with Caleb, an old friend. Haven't seen that name in a while.
Program.
So am I spinning? Look at this wheel, dude. Look at all the names. I'm gonna spin it. Should I spin it?
Fucking spin it, dude. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Larry, Brian, take it away. Take it away. Don't announce it yet. Larry, what was it like to spin the huge wheel at Price is Right in the halftime show? Because if you win your showdown, you get to spin the big. Tell us about the big, dude.
Dude, it's a lot lighter than maybe you think. It's a lot lighter. It's not heavy.
Are you gonna show the winner?
Brian, I want to hear about Larry spinning the wheel.
I thought I was gonna have to spin like a heavy thing, a heavy device.
They all look like they really go for it. It looks heavy when you watch it on TV.
No, it's not. Not for a young Chelovak like ourselves.
Do you remember what your spin was? Do you remember the sense?
Yes. 65.
Did you stay or did you spin again?
Dude, the woman who spun before me spun 60 and stayed. I spun on my first spin and got 65. She's out of there.
Oh,
she's
so
out.
It's just two.
Fuck that
it's just
bitch.
2 people.
Yeah, I didn't even have to spin again. She spun 60, 60, and was like, I'll stay. I spun first time, got 65. Get out of here. Colleen from Cleveland.
Squash. It was a squash. Let me ask you this. If you spun first and you landed on 65, would you have set like Colleen,
No,
or would you have spun
absolutely
again?
not. I would have spun again. 65 is too low. I want 80.
So you could have gone 65 plus 15.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, who's the winner of the giveaway, Brian?
Trying to find the comment.
You've already spun.
Ha ha ha. It's Roland Gilad. And the comment, I have the comment here. It's RIP Deathmatch Elite. Give me the merch. So send me your address, Roland. And do you want the socks?
If he doesn't
And
want the
this week's-
socks, they go
He
directly
might
to
want
Schlack.
the socks. Whatever. Fucking Schlack with the socks. So this week's giveaway, you got a caricature of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Does anyone care? It's a little saying. It's drawn by this.
A beautiful piece of art. Where'd you get that?
I actually got it from. It was from a High Spots.
Okay.
High Spots did like a Christmas. They do like a Christmas thing. I ordered the Christmas thing. I think this was I ordered it in like 2020. This drawing is from 2014. It says
Hey,
by Steve,
girl.
whatever that name is. There it says it, but it's that. But also, you're gonna get this pack of cards. ICW Elite 22.
Come here.
It doesn't have the chase card, but it's basically a full set of cards. So
What was the chase card?
there was 4 different chase cards.
What was the one in that one?
I can't remember, Larry.
Fuck was it?
It might have. I can't remember what the chase card.
ICW baby.
No, that was for. I don't think they had that. ICW Baby was only in the first set, Larry. I have that card. I have that card signed by the ICW Baby himself. But also, not only will you get that drawing and that pack of cards, but you will get this chocolate bar.
I want chocolate.
Brian, I feel like you should send that to me.
Well, you know
I
what?
know. I want me and Patrick are chocolate babies.
I'm sorry,
We
but
love
I like
chocolate.
our viewers more, so I supply the goods to them.
All the head shops.
Cookies and cream. And this, you can ask a Bull of the Wood, Tony Norman, how good this is. You can go watch me consume one whole bar of these, stoned for science, on streamxpw.com.
What happened to that? Are we not
hey,
doing
Brian,
that anymore?
I'm kind of curious about that too, Larry. Like, Brian, you killed XPW the promotion. You killed Deathmatch Elite. You killed Schlack's XPW career. You killed Lou Nixon's hairline. You insulted Lou Nixon's hairline, and then he threatened to punch your wife in the face, and then he shaved his head.
He fixed it. He fixed it.
Yo, that might be the funniest thing to me this week. This fucking motherfucker with his MMA shorts, acting all fucking.
Dude, and Lou Nixon was cool as fuck when we met him in person.
Yeah,
dude.
I mean he was cool, but why did he threaten to punch your wife?
Because people.
That's what
he is
MMA
on-
guys do.
He's on
That's
the,
what
no,
MMA
he's on
guys
the
do.
drink hate Jewberg. He's on the drink hate Jewberg juice, and he knows that making fun of me will get the likes.
That's so funny. Can you imagine a strategy where you have to hate Juberg to like make sure that? Oh man, it's so weird.
That's the road I've built.
All right, so yo, we got 20 minutes left. I think I'm all out of fucking steam, yo. I cut my drunken promo as I do usually. We talked about the
There's
comments.
not been that much going on. There's not been the GCW ran a show on Halloween. It looked like there was about 45 people there, and then
How
they
many?
ran 45.
Maybe
There was
43
about-
even, Larry.
There was 30 paid and 15 comps, as our friend Chad Mins would say. And they ran in Hawaii. They ran a show in Hawaii. First time they've ever ran there, and it looked like they were in another low attendance pavilion. I mean, it's dope that they're in Hawaii.
An
But,
annex.
Who gives a fuck about the show? Not
Yo,
many people.
As long as you have nothing to do, can I just say that I want to shit on the person who made the shirt and gave it to Larry, and then Larry gave me that shirt, the VXS 3XL shirt, which, by the way, it was a 4. It was a 4X. By the way, Larry, I love I love a large T-shirt. And that Larry tie-dye 3X, I've washed it a few times, and it still comes down to like my knee. Was it a 4X? Was that a 4X?
It's a 4.
Too? Why do we keep saying 3? What's my
Because
problem?
You're drunk.
Yeah, I am.
We're all drunk.
We're all drunk.
We're all sip. We've all been sipping. We've all been puffing. This is Boulevard
all
Bullies
drunk.
versus the World, live every Tuesday, 7 p.m. EST on YouTube.
Sorry
bitch.
that we interviewed Nick Gage, y'all. What do you want from us?
Are we sorry, dude? We've had the Necro Butcher. We've had Masada. We've had Drake Younger. We have Schlack in cowboy hats.
We had
Fuck
Masada
you,
right
bro.
after the.
What do you have on your show?
We had
Suck our
Masada.
dick.
We had Masada right after the lighting himself on fire whole deal.
Oh my God, legendary shit, dude. We have motherfucking Tommy, motherfucking Trainwreck, Mike Kevorkian, $1 billion backer.
I feel
Fuck
like
you.
I want every news organization that shared our quote with Nick from last week to share this moment right here and like retract their reports, being like, "Oh, nothing that he said could have been real because these guys are drunks."
We delegitimized it. Fuck everybody, bro. That's what I say.
Yeah, but I'm just really proud of you, Brian, because you commented on Lou Nixon's hairline. Then Lou Nixon exposed himself as, once again, one of these guys could just block, could just ignore.
Dude, and these people, they make fucking twisted shit up on the internet trying to manipulate situations where they say that I cry and I talk shit in DMs. It's complete fabrications of what's going on. I don't give a fuck. I post on the internet. No one hits me up in my DMs besides people that talk to me like normal human beings.
Yo, let's all puke. Let's all puke to end the show.
Dude, when I went to see Dying Fetus, I puked in my toilet.
You puked it during Dying
Oh,
Fetus.
I puked. The Black Dahlia murder headlined the show. I don't even remember
Let's
one
all
second
puke.
of
Let's
it
all
playing.
puke on the show, dude.
You've already puked on this show when the Mets were in the playoffs.
Oh no, I didn't puke that time. I was
You
struggling.
did.
I was struggling not to puke.
It seemed as if you were in the
No,
action
I was
of
just
puking.
I was just sound like this.
You were down. You were down for the count. It seemed as if you're gonna vomit. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pour myself a shot.
All right.
I've came several times already.
Let's
on
drink
this
some of
one.
that tequila. Larry, I want you to shove your fingers down your throat. And I want every viewer to shove their fingers down their throat at the count of 3.
Patrick, we'll get in
We're
trouble.
all gonna puke together.
I've never forcibly made myself puke in my whole entire life.
We're all gonna puke together.
Also, everybody should see the movie The Substance.
Ooh, let's talk about movies. Larry, how was your Halloween? How was your All Hallows
Larry
Eve?
spoke about the movie that he saw, the Japanese
No, but I want to hear
audition.
about I want to hear about your Halloween costume. I want to
Oh,
hear
the
about
actual
your Halloween
day.
experiences. Or we can
Well-
all vomit. I mean, that's fine too.
Well, I just do you remember what I wore at the Tremont
The
Onita?
Ringmaster.
the Tremont Onita?
Oh, the black, the Scream outfit?
That's not important.
Okay.
Yes,
That's
you asked.
just No, hold on. That's just an excuse to wear a dress. The more important is the goat mask.
Right, the red
The
goat
goat
mask.
mask,
The red
which
goat
is
mask.
an evocation of El Presidente Pinky Sanchez. And let me tell you something. I know what I'm doing. I need my pinky back. I need him back in the ring. He brought me to Pazuzu, and he showed me a whole new world, like
Hey, Pinky,
Jasmine.
you're so fine. You're so.
That means
Bro,
maybe you should bring Pinky
Pat,
to 7.
Pat.
Why
Pat,
shouldn't
I know
Pinky
you
be in
know.
7?
I know you know, Pat. I need my baby back. So for like the second Halloween in a row, I evoke my lord, El Gran Sanchez, El Presidente, to bring him back. And I believe we have not seen the last of him. So I did it again. And Robbie Marino of Blackout pointed out, oh, how legendary of you to wear the garb that you wore for the Tremont Onita thing, at the BCW.
That's a night that will live in infamy. And you know what makes me disgusted? That it was like heavily influenced by Robert Feinstein.
Who? What?
And
Was?
He was the one that got Onita there.
nobody talks about that, and it's
What was?
disturbing.
What
It's
was?
disturbing. The fucking explosion match with
No.
Tremont and Onita. Bro, everybody, dude, Rob Black talks about it, and only Rob
Dude.
Black talks about it because
Dude.
nobody else does, dude.
Well, what is it even? We were there.
Know who else was?
Bro,
Robert
Rob
Feinstein.
Rob bought Onita in.
No.
Tremont didn't bring him in. Rob did.
Facts. 100%.
No, because I heard stories
were there.
that, like, Tree went to the hospital because he owed money and he needed to, like.
He did.
I didn't hear it. I've heard a lot of things about that night. And by the way, that's the night that I cut such a promo on Cass that he strangled me.
I was driving.
You were quiet. You were quiet, though, weren't you, Brian? You didn't say a word.
Brian
I agreed with Patrick.
You know what? You did. You did.
I was on the right side of history.
And we opened up the side door like A-Team. Fucking threw his bag at him and drove away. And guess what I did? Larry? Blocked him.
Richard.
Blocked him. Never looked back.
Yeah.
So if anybody who is watching this who is very upset about Brian, take a page out of my book. Dump a bag of popcorn in his lap.
Yo, Pat, you've done some pretty legendary things to like quote unquote bosses. Quote unquote bosses in the fucking game. You've done some pretty like I dumped popcorn in his lap. I threw his bag at him and kicked him out in front of Lucky 13.
He was in front of his home.
Watched too much television, Larry, and I said, "Is this your popcorn?" He goes, "Yeah," and I started eating it.
Oh man!
I don't even fucking like popcorn, dog.
Richard, like I'll eat yours.
Yeah, it's a metaphor. Long-term storytelling, dude.
Yeah, here we are.
And here we are. You got Deathmatch Elite shut down, and then you exposed your best friend for 1,000,000 years, who you said that we fucking coerced. Two days later, you exposed him for being a fucking drug addict that you've expended every fucking option to try to help, and he's so low, he's so rock bottom that he went on the Blvd Bullies. Yeah, no. Hey, listen. It's been a great evening.
What is it? We got 10 minutes.
What is anything happening this weekend? I think ICW is having another show. ICW is having, what is it, 66?
Not
Who's the
666?
announcer?
Just
Who's the announcer?
66, dude?
Who's the announcer? Where's the show?
Where's the third six?
I think this is in New England. It's Homicide versus Atticus for the championship. And I can't remember one single other match.
So Bobby Banks will be the announcer.
Bobby Banks has been the announcer for the past few shows, I think.
Bobby Banks is Larry Legend.
Is he? Nobody's Larry Legend. Those are crazy
Does
Yeah,
words.
don't
to
Danny,
say
say.
does
that.
Danny,
Makes my
Brian, I
skin
know you
crawl.
watch. Does Danny come out and go, the best fucking ring announcer from off the internet, Bobby fucking Banks? Does he do that?
I don't know. I don't know. He might. I'm gonna
I bet
watch
he
it.
says
I'm
it.
gonna watch it specifically this weekend just to tell you what he says. This is the card. I'm gonna tell you the card. Hoodfoot versus Otis Cogar.
Hoodfoot.
Hoodfoot. Dr. Redacted versus Alex Stretch.
Whoa.
The Bev versus Jimothy Lloyd. Thomas Vendetta versus Little Mean Kathleen.
I know Lil Mean.
And MF3 versus Gabriel Sky.
Stacked card.
Is it?
Yeah. I just love how I just love how the evil empire overreacted.
It's 65. It's 65, by the way. NHB 65. Sorry.
I just love how because of our show last week, Larry, do you need water or seltzer? I just love how because of our show last week, Deathmatch Elite got absolutely deleted, much to the chagrin of really the only nice guy involved with it, which is Andy Lawler, who puts up with Brian.
The nicest guy that
And
exists
now
in the whole
Deathmatch
universe.
Elite 2.0 is happening, and Danny DeMonto has rejoined. Brett Lauderdale and Joey Janela are in Deathmatch 2.0.
XPW's not in Deathmatch.
XPW not even
2.0.
represented.
Not even
and
represented.
It's almost like an inside job.
I'm technically still in Deathmatch Elite 2.0. I'm posting currently. So,
Well, I've heard.
but
I've heard
I'm an
from
insider. I'm technically an insider because I'm friends. I like Andy Lawler has no problem saying that he's my friend. I'm his friend. He thinks that I don't care that I give him a headache, but
You don't.
I do care. I do care. But it's like it's not my fault that people get mad at Andy for my actions. That's like ridiculous, childish shit.
And shout out to Kevin Gill. Thank God. Thank God
God.
for Kevin
Good.
Gill. Because, listen, 11,000 strong, brother. We interviewed Nick Gage. Did we lead the witness a little bit? Okay. Objections sustained.
Sustained.
Did we acknowledge families and dogs? I don't know.
We never
Are we the
spoke one
worst
disparaging
interviewers
word.
on the planet? Yeah, probably.
Without a
However,
doubt.
shockingly enough, Deathmatch Elite is deleted mere moments after our hard-hitting, record-breaking, headline-stealing interview with Nick Gage last week. Deathmatch Elite vanishes. It disappears. But, oh my God, thank God. There is one man in wrestling who exists who's probably over 1,500 years old. This guy's been around for the New York Hardcore Message Board.cjb.net. This guy's been around.
Pre-MySpace.
MySpace, LiveJournal, Xanax,
Zanga.
Now this guy, this is like Gandalf the Grey, patrolling and joining, and not moderating, not ever really having any power, but just making sure that the line is towed. And oh my God, thank God for Kevin Gill.
98-year-old Kevin Gill.
God.
Larry, are you okay, dude?
Dude, I'm always fine. I'm always fine.
Okay, well, I'm not fine.
I
But
want to
just-
make a petition for Nate Webb to change his music.
Why? Why would you do that, Brian?
Because every time Nate Webb comes out, Kevin Gill sings it.
Where on commentary or on
Yeah.
ring announcing?
No, on commentary. Kevin Gill is the commentator of 7. So whenever somebody is coming into the ring, you can hear him on his commentary singing the song. And I want to make a petition. So Teenage Dirtbag is no longer Nate
That's
Webb's
crazy.
entrance
Don't even
music.
talk like that. Anyway, thanks to Kevin Gill for realizing that there was a power vacuum and
Thank you, Kevin.
and becoming one of the 3 new moderators of Deathmatch Elite 2.0, which has his longtime adversaries Danny D'Amato and Brett Lauderdale now in it and sharing and talking openly. I'm sure it's only a matter of time before Brian gets banned from the group.
There's actually a Blvd Bullies Elite that everybody in this chat
What?
should go join.
What?
Blvd Bullies Elite.
Thank God, dude.
An alternative of the alternative of the alternative.
Of the alternative.
Right.
Show us the giveaways for this week. All you got to do is comment on this YouTube video.
Oh my
Go
God,
ahead.
it's almost over. We're just doing the giveaways now.
No,
we did it
already
already. We did it,
We're
Larry.
just doing a reminder and we're closing out the show because
this is a reminder.
We're fucking. We're sucking.
Why? We did. This was a great show,
All of our
bro.
haters are coming on us right now because of
We
how
endorse
badly we don't care about it. Go ahead.
Look at Abdullah Kobayashi.
Look at that. Look at that drawing.
Look at it.
Wow. Wow.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. That's who.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. This guy drew it. This guy.
This is music.
Oh boy. Anyway, listen.
Who else? What else?
And that guy fucking has to send us his address. Roland Gilad.
I mean,
He's
you know
watching
what? I
now.
think
I see him
Matt,
commenting.
Come on.
Yeah,
Boss
you
man.
know, listen, we're going
Boss
home.
man, come
We're
on.
going home.
Take us home.
We're doing final thoughts, so we're gonna do a quick
Final
thoughts. Larry,
Final thoughts? Oh, Larry.
Shout out Connor Claxton's birthday, November 4th, yesterday. Shout out Connor. Last of a dying breed. Last of the wrestlers that Danny Havoc got to touch and bring up. Last.
Shout out Danny Havoc. Shout out Danny Havoc.
Yeah. Shout out Danny Havoc. Shout out Connor Claxton. Happy birthday, Connor.
final
That's my
thoughts,
final thought.
Brian.
Next week, Tomathan Trainwreck. Blvd Bullies versus the World. Fuck you.
And I just want to say to everybody that I apologize for anything that might be out of pocket. And much like some of our heroes, much like some of our heroes, some of our friends, and some of our loved ones, we are all struggling and searching to fill the void. Some of us do it while we're reading the comments, and some of us do it without reading the comments. Theoretically speaking, of course. And I'll tell you this for sure. From NGI2, I have always known that Nicolas Cage, he don't read those comments.
No.
For better or for worse. And despite what you may see or think or hear, despite what Brian wants to do just to play devil's advocate, the Blvd Bullies support wrestling and fun and deathmatch and Nick Gage and every single other person out there except our enemies. Because whoever they are, wherever they are, I must insist, die slow at a time. Bye-bye.
It's the man.
Oh, whoops. All right, here we go. This is fine.
Boulevard.